You're listening to KEHR, 50,000 watts broadcasting worldwide from sunny Southern California. ExtremeHealthRadio.com. This is Chief BioPappy signing off. Over and out.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Extreme Health Radio. This is Tristan Truscott, co-creator of the Good Morning, Good Evening Qigong with my dear friend and partner, Peter Ragnar. And it's awesome to be on the show with everybody.
Increase brain health and improve focus, memory, clarity, and mood with BioAge Superfood. Get 10% off your order using coupon code JUSTIN at extremehealthradio.com/BioAge. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Wow, that was strange. That was odd. Hi.
Hey.
What's your name? Come here often?
You wanna hang out?
You dance here often?
Dance here. Jeez. Do you play the banjo here often?
Hey, speaking of, how's the banjo lessons coming?
Oh, don't ask.
No? I haven't seen you even doing anything towards that banjo you talked about.
I haven't taken it out of the case like more than once this summer.
That's okay.
It's okay.
That's okay.
You know what? Life has just kind of gotten in the way, and I'm not proud of it, but I keep pushing off these lessons for some reason. I don't know. On an energetic level, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it you know what?
It is what it is.
In its due time.
That's right.
It's all good.
You can always take banjo lessons in the winter. It's not as if the winter here in California is that much different than summer.
You were absolutely right.
You know?
Although
in fact, it'll give you some inspiration for the winter, too.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Little back porch picking?
French porch picking.
French porch.
Anyway, you're right.
I should introduce the show, I think. I think it's time to do that. This is episode 291, is that correct?
You're right on.
291, and for reference, this is going to be...
August 1st.
August 1st? Oh, that was strange. August 1st, 2014.
Yeah.
Summer's flying by.
I know.
Pretty soon it's going to be winter.
Pretty soon it'll be Christmas again.
Yeah, not looking forward to that. Looking forward. I love the summer, let me tell you.
I know. This has been the best summer ever.
This has been a really incredible summer. We went into water today. We jumped in that ocean.
Beautiful.
It was about 72-degree water today. Beautiful.
And you didn't come across any stingrays today, right? Like yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday I stepped on a stingray out there, didn't I?
Yeah.
Golly, that was a bit frightening because I had done that before.
Just a bit.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
I know it didn't get you with its tail though, did it?
No, I think I stepped on the side of where its little wing is, and it shuffled out from underneath the sand. And it was
creepy.
Weird.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah, a long time ago I stepped on a stingray, and I was surfing in the wintertime, and I had booties on, which are an extension of your wetsuit that goes beyond your ankle and covers your feet and keeps your feet warm. And the booties at the bottom have a real thick protective rubber layer. And it stung through the booty, through the middle bottom of my foot, and just drained blood out of my foot like crazy. It was
you still have a scar from that?
I still have a scar from that, yeah. It hit right on a vein. And so when I walked back to, about 3 seconds into it, I thought, okay, I can keep surfing. And all of a sudden the pain got so bad. It just took 3 seconds. It was immediately, okay, I got to go in. So I walked to the shore and took off my booty and just poured all the water out, and it was just all red blood. Oh. It's crazy.
It's like Jaws in your boot.
Yeah.
That's not cool. What'd you have to do for it? Did you pee on it?
You can, yeah, which is pretty cool, but I didn't know.
Is that for jellyfish too?
Yeah, that's for jellyfish. And
stingrays?
Yeah, and blue bottles down in Australia too.
You can pee on those too?
Well, you pee on your foot.
Well, right.
What are those people doing on the shore peeing all over those blue bottles? Wow, those people, they're all...
You know what I meant.
Yeah, you can pee on all that, but I didn't know that at the time. And apparently the cure for being stung by stingrays is just simply to put your foot in the hottest possible water that you can humanly stand. And
for a long time, or just to dip it in real quick?
well, it's weird because if you put it in and you only put it in for a certain amount of time, it feels really good. And as soon as you take it out, it just immediately gets painful.
Oh, so of course you don't care if your foot's burning off as long as it's not like stung to high heaven.
It hurts so bad. And so,
I can't imagine.
Oh, it's the worst pain. And so at the time, I didn't know anything about this. So I was driving to the ER and I just went in my wetsuit and I felt this like numbing sensation going up my leg. And it started at my foot and went up to my ankle, halfway up my shin. I'm driving in my wetsuit, and it's getting worse and worse. It's making its way up to my knee, and then it's up to my middle of my thigh. And I thought, what the heck is going to happen? I mean, is this going to
go to your heart?
Go
or
to my
something?
heart or go to my whole body? What the heck? It must have released a lot of venom. And so when I got to the ER, all they did was just put my foot in hot water, and that was $697 later. $697 bucket of water. I appreciate that.
Warm tap water. Thanks, guys.
Oh my gosh.
I'm surprised they didn't tell you to like go home and do it yourself. I mean, that's like taking candy from a baby.
Isn't that bad?
That's lame.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Oh my gosh, that was bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really bad if you have that happen.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, good to know. Have you been stung since?
Yesterday was the first day.
That you
I don't
came
think I've ever
close?
stepped on a stingray since then. That was about 14, 15 years ago.
Okay.
But yesterday was the day when I did it again. Thankfully, it didn't sting me. But that's how Steve Irwin died.
Mm-hmm. I know. Those things were huge, though, where he went. I mean, those were like
Those are the big ones?
big, large ones, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Our little guys are probably what, like a size of a Frisbee?
Yeah, probably about 1.5 feet. Yeah, the size of a Frisbee.
With the tail, then?
Yeah.
Ugh.
But the one I stepped on, 15 years ago, I stepped on it and I stepped right on the middle of its body. And as soon as I took my foot off, it went forward or some direction. And then that tail just whipped
Barbed
right
back.
up. And
Yikes.
that was quite
Do they die once they get you, like a bee?
like a bee. I don't think so. No.
You've had some weird stuff happen.
Yeah, weird,
I mean,
huh?
I have too, but that is weird.
Yeah, it happens quite a bit here.
I was scared to be with you in Australia when we were at the Great Barrier Reef because we went snorkeling off one of the islands. Was it off of Green Island or something like that?
Oh, yeah, Green Island.
And here we are I'm thinking Great Barrier Reef is going to be this phenomenal thing. And we get out, we get our snorkel gear. Do you remember this? And the minute that we go out to snorkel, like we're like, this is beautiful. We're okay. Let's go out to where it's really good. And we're like 20 feet from where we started, and a whole school of jellyfish come swimming right toward, like we're going into them.
Oh.
And all of a sudden we look around and they're just everywhere. All these sizes. Do you remember all the different sizes? And we're like, this isn't good. And we both like turned around and made a beeline to get back because they were hauling toward us.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it felt like anywhere you moved your arms, they were going to be all around you. And I thought, this is not going to end well. Like,
Oh, my gosh.
I remembered your story about the jellyfish and I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Well, the problem, too, in Queensland, northern Australia, where the Great Barrier Reef was where we were snorkeling, you have the box jellyfish.
Oh.
And those things will kill you.
Those weren't box ones that we were going toward, were they?
I don't think so, no. But the box ones, from what I understand, they're really small. Like it's like a little baby rattlesnake, They're small, but somehow they have this venom inside them that just kills people within minutes.
I love that we love Australia so much and we keep going back. Like those irriganji.
Oh, yeah, what are those?
I don't know, but I remember seeing signs all over the beach going like, watch out for the killer irriganji, you're dead. And I'm like, oh gosh. Do you remember that? You and me and Brian?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Up on the beach,
yeah.
and there's like this thing, it's like, people have died here, don't go in the water.
That's right.
Or if you do, here's what you have to do within like a minute if you want to even have a chance. And we're like, what are these irriganji?
Yeah, that's right.
Irriganji.
Yeah,
This
the
just
box
sounds
jellyfish, the irriganji,
The blue bottles.
the blue bottles, and then sharks and crocodiles.
Yeah, you're right.
Do they have piranha there? I don't think they have piranha, do they? That's more like Brazil.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound good. It'd be even worse.
Do I want to know?
We were talking with our friends one time about what if water bears existed?
Water bears. Oh, do you mean just a regular, like a grizzly?
Yeah, like what if they swam or what if they were in the water? Oh. That's scarier than a shark to me, I think. Like, we're like, what if these insane animals actually could be land and water? You know, like what if they were swimming around in the ocean like polar bears, but they were just everywhere? I would never go in the water again. Like a water bear would be the worst thing ever.
Water bear, my goodness.
Do you remember Scott talking about the water bears?
No.
And how he was saying like that would be the freakiest thing. And I started to agree. I'm like, the sheer size of them is just so scary. And then if they're in the water, I mean, they just, I don't know why that's scarier than a shark to me.
Wow. Yeah, they would be. Well, because they have claws too. And they're just so massive.
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. I have no idea.
We go from taking a lovely dip in the ocean to talking about water bears.
Oh, because I was talking about the stingray, and we're talking about all these crazy things in the ocean.
That was.
You know what's weird? I always think about when you go in the ocean. It's strange how people don't think about this, but you know, if you were to go into the forest to go hiking, as soon as you step foot in the ocean, you're essentially in the wild. Like you're in a wild environment. Even if you're only waist deep with water, you could have sharks. You could have. It's
a free for all out there.
Yeah, it's completely uncontrollable environment. It's
that's
like
a weird way to think about it.
It's like being in the middle of Alaska with no one else around you, kind of thing. Like because if you're in the forest, you might have a gun or you have your sight, and you have probably people with you and food. But when you're in the ocean like that, you're essentially in the middle of the wild.
Yeah.
It's a weird thought. Even if you're only waist deep, because a shark could still come get you.
You're right.
Weird.
You are in the wild. Wow, I never thought about it like that before.
Yeah. Now you're going to be even more afraid to go.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh my gosh.
That kind of ruined my day.
Yeah, right? So we just got back with a little walk. This is a pre-recorded show, and we just got back from a long walk with Maggie. We took her.
About an hour, maybe?
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it?
It was really nice. It's hot summer evening, balmy.
Yeah, very hot. I could start seeing the sun setting a little bit earlier here.
Wow.
Sun sets about 8:10 or 8:15 on June 22nd here, which is about as late as it ever sets.
Now we're down to what, 7 something?
Probably about 7:50 or so.
Okay.
7. Yeah, it's still pretty nice though.
You're still holding out.
I'm still holding out.
You'll be okay. In about a month from now, you'll be crying, but that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, I will be.
I know, and I'll comfort you.
But that was a nice walk. I thought.
Maggie will comfort you.
Good digestive walk.
It was, wasn't it?
I love the walks. We started doing that in Tahoe. The walks after the dinner.
Yeah, there's something I think very. I don't know. It reminds me of being on my trips in Europe and things.
Yeah.
Where you'd go for you'd have these long leisurely dinners and then just kind of ramble about afterward, and you just felt better and lighter by the time you came back to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a nightcap in a good way. You just kind of get out there and it's the perfect way to end the night.
It feels good it feels good for me to, if I eat a heavier meal, to kind of go for a walk like that.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like really good on my digestion and really helps me. I don't know, I like it.
Me too.
It's good. It's like meditative.
It is meditative.
Yeah.
Maggie wasn't so meditative, though. She's always looking to start a fight.
Yeah.
She's such a scrappy little dog.
She is, isn't she?
She is.
She just will start a fight with anybody.
I know.
It's like the biggest dogs, Rottweilers, she'll just go after everything.
People on skateboards.
Yeah.
People on bikes. She just charges people and dogs.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Except for her new boyfriend.
Oh, Bouncing Baby Bowser?
Bouncing Baby Bowser. He is about 2.5 years younger than she is.
Oh, wow.
He's only 6 months old.
Really?
I think he might be about 8 months now, and she loves him.
She loves little Bowser.
He's a fluffy little, what is he, like a little brown Pomeranian?
Yeah, tiny little thing.
She loves him.
How much does he weigh?
He's like
5 pounds?
Cotton ball, yeah. 5 pounds with little beady eyes. He's so cute.
Oh, that's
Maggie's
hilarious.
got a new boyfriend.
Hey, what were you telling me on the walk about what your client said to you about the organ failure or something?
Oh gosh,
remember
that's
that?
A segue.
Well, I just remembered that. I didn't want to forget
Bouncing Baby Bowser to organ failure.
Yeah.
Water bear. Yeah, I had a client today, and she's I think she used to be a neonatal nurse at a hospital or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing her hair, and she was asking how I was feeling, because I kind of, when I dropped a lot of my hours, I had to tell people, I'm just kind of focusing on my health. And some people I shared more than others with.
Yeah.
More with than others.
Yeah.
But she kind of knew what was going on a little bit with just some stuff I've been having challenges with. And she said, I said, yeah, I'm getting, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not, perfect, but I'm getting there.
Right.
And she said something like, yeah, well, are you guys thinking about having a family anytime in the future? And I'm like, oh yeah, definitely, just hasn't been the right time. And she's like, well, good for you. I mean, I think it's just a really good call that you waited as long as you have and to get better and focus on that first, because, I've heard of, you could go into like when you're pregnant, and if you have those issues, you could go into like organ failure. I've seen it. I've heard about it. And I'm like, organ failure.
Wait, she said about what? If you have
some pre-existing, stuff with your, blood work and your organs being off, or you're having particular organs that are like taxed or challenged.
Yeah.
Going into a pregnancy might cause organ failure of some sort in like worst case scenario. And immediately it's like, oh my gosh, your mind just goes into this panic mode of like, good thing I haven't gotten pregnant because I don't want to have my liver fall out or my pancreas explode. Or,
that's crazy.
Yeah. And it just painted that picture of just this like, just bad situation in my head. And I thought, gosh, people come at you at all. And she didn't, she wasn't trying to be a downer, but she's come out of that world that's so medically minded of like, these are the things that can go wrong, and be prepared for every wrong thing at all times. And, be, the worst thing I've seen, because she's probably seen the worst, she thinks the worst for everybody.
Yeah. God.
But it wasn't very encouraging. And I thought, gosh, like with one statement, you could just empower or disempower people completely. And if you don't have a strong sense of knowing whether who you are, or what you believe in, or how you feel about your health or your body or what's possible, you'll just like be bummed all the time.
Because if you don't really let that stuff, like you said, you're not going to let that affect you. Mm-mm. But man, I mean,
it stuck with me though. I was like, oh, and then I'm like, I don't want that attached to me. I'm not going to let that. I'm not even going to go there. But
that's like another virus that people give to other people. I mean, you got to be careful with your words. What makes someone say that?
I don't know.
I mean, you don't know how sensitive people are. Just because they don't act sensitive doesn't mean they don't take on things that you say. And when you say stuff to people like that, I mean, it just shows a level of consciousness and awareness that's just not there.
Yeah.
So many people do that, especially, adults with young kids or teachers or things, authority figures. Mm-hmm. They'll say stuff to other people, and it's just so damaging.
Yeah, people need to be, I think, a little bit more careful about what they let in and what they put out. Both ways equally, I think.
Yeah.
It's funny though when you're kind of already have issues with a thing, like whether you're afraid of, I don't know, it's like say you're afraid of spiders, and it's like that might be the one thing in the world that freaks you out the most, and all of a sudden it's like
the Irriganji.
Like the Irriganji, right? You'll start attracting people saying strange things to you about that subject. I've noticed, like with my clients and things.
Really?
Yeah, like if I'm going through like a liver thing and I'm focused on my liver in an unhealthy way, like within 2 days, it seems like all these people come in and be like, I need my hair done because I'm going to a funeral of someone who just died of liver cancer. Or
really,
my dad just got diagnosed with liver failure, or so-and-so's liver just failed them and then they, have all these problems. I mean, it's weird what you can attract. Like, and unfortunately, like giving birth is something that I've always had a fear of for some reason. And it's so strange to me that I still attract comments like that. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't saying anything about birth. I was talking about like, hey, I'm trying to get right with my pancreas and I'm trying to, work on this, and this. But somehow it came around to the birth thing. And I thought, another thing that gets thrown at me because, I had a friend die of, she died during labor.
This was recently too.
Yeah, like I think a year and a half ago. She had what do they call it? An amniotic embolism.
Uh-huh.
And it's so rare, but that actually happened to someone I know and I knew decently. And I'm thinking, like I'm the last person that needed to have something like that happen because I'm already a little bit leery about the birth process anyway.
Right.
So it's like, I'm going to let Maggie out the door real quick.
Yeah.
Why does that stuff like seem to, you attract this stuff in a bad way of stuff you're already fearful of or something?
I know. It's so weird. I mean, for some reason, I don't know why that happens where you attract that kind of thing. Maybe there's something, I don't know, maybe there's something there with it that somehow energetically, it's part of your path to overcome that or something,
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is. I've had to let a lot of people's comments and sitting in my chair throughout the day go because by the end of it, I mean, I've said this before, it's like by the end of your day, you'll think everyone's dying of something and everyone's grieving of something and everyone's really hurt. Like, it's too much. Like,
do people come in? People just come in and dump everything, don't they? It's almost like people will tell you things that they've never told anybody else, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. I get that a lot. And not only do I get that kind of stuff, but I get, like, I was just saying, like, I get people mentioning all these strange things that probably wouldn't cross as many people that work in the public get dumped a lot. Like, a lot of stuff gets dumped on them more than the person who probably sits behind a desk for most of the day.
Yeah.
It's just different when you talk to different people all day long in different service, professions. And, it's like everything from, you'll hear a story about someone's husband being an alcoholic to, someone's little baby just being stillborn, and then, so-and-so just died in a car accident. I mean, it's kind of like you have to guard yourself because it can be really downer.
Yeah, that is,
and when you're working on your own health stuff, that's what becomes like, you become more protective of your space. The more you realize that you need to get better, it's like the more those things still try to attach themselves, but you're aware of it now. So it just almost becomes like this weird psychological game of like, why is this still like coming around even though I'm trying to block it,
Yeah, I imagine that's got to be so difficult, people coming in.
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Golly, that's crazy. Yeah, I just think that kind of stuff is just, like, you really have to block yourself from people that do that to you, because people will just dump stuff on you, and people will talk to you, and they do it in a way that they don't think they're doing it. They don't know they're doing it. They're not aware that they're doing it, but it's putting stuff on you that is really, if you're not energetically aware and energetically
like grounded.
Yeah, you can let that stuff. I mean, a lot of times, especially teenagers, because people will talk to teenagers like they're adults because they're right almost there, and they're really affected by this kind of stuff,
Yeah, when your hormones are all crazy, of course you're going to be more affected when they have a lot going on. I think it's such a crucial time for people,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the teenagers of the world definitely need more TLC and direction and guidance and more tools of how to, like, navigate this life a little bit better, because crazy will find you.
Don't you think that we did a show with Amy Schubert this week? Was it 289?
I think so, yeah.
Was it 289?
Let me look. 289.
Don't you think that all teenagers should have a life coach?
I do. I totally do.
I mean, if any time there's a place in your life, or some direction that's not your parents, that's not your friends, a responsible life coach, wouldn't that be good for all teenagers?
I think so. And I don't know about most people, but around our town I've seen a couple different advertisements or signs or whatever, not billboards, but I don't know what they're called, signs I guess, for teen life coaches, because not only girls, because boys deal with it too, but it seems like the teen coaches I'm seeing are more focused on the girls. But like, gosh, what they're having to go through these days, like more, I mean, I went on to a couple of the websites I saw about these women who are awesome coaches and seeing what they offer to these girls, and just the beginning paragraph of like explaining what they do just breaks your heart. Like, it's too much to handle. Like, with all the things that teenage girls are going through. Yeah, here, I'll bring one up right here, because I was looking at this yesterday. It's pretty intense. It is intense. It is a different world, man, today than it was even when we were in high school, which is 20 years ago or something. But, man, or 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it is just a different world. Kids are doing so much more stuff. It existed, obviously, but I just think it's like somehow magnified today. Here's what is the very first things on this one woman's website. It's amazing. So you're working with her with Empowered Women's Channel? I'm going to meet up with her next week. I've never met her before. Okay, cool. But cool. I'll be cluing people into more of what she does. She does stuff with just teen girls, or is it everybody? Teen girls. Motivating girls to shine. And then in her parentheses, she put diamonds optional. JenniferLyons.com. Okay, Lyons. But her she's awesome, but she's this big old thing that says live, love, laugh, or live, laugh, love. And then underneath it says this is the thing she deals with. This is what the average teenager now has to deal with. Bullying, sex, drugs. And she put, and you thought I was going to say rock and roll next, didn't you? Yeah, that was. Competition, betrayal, winning, losing, college, approval, pretty, ugly, sexting, fat, skinny, poor, bitch.
Divorce. Add divorce to that.
And you add everything else into that. Like, those are just like the top. Like, reading that made me so sad. I'm like, gosh. And I'm looking at all of them going, golly, I think maybe one or two of those things were things I felt like I kind of struggled with as a teenager. But I'd say most, especially now with social media and all this stuff, I mean, this is stuff that didn't, like you said, it didn't exist. We still had hard things and life was still life. But man alive, like, it's just getting a lot crazier.
Yeah, sexting. That's a whole thing. I don't have a cell phone, but what are people just sending like naked pictures of themselves to other kids?
I don't even know if I think pictures, but also just inappropriate, behavioral conversations going on.
Wow,
with
college.
Young kids,
College is another one where kids are so forced, aren't they, to make these decisions that are going to affect what they think is their permanent record, which there's no such thing. I mean, there's just really not.
I know.
Permanent record and, and college and
it's a lot of pressure.
So much pressure, isn't it?
So, yeah, I do think there's something really, really, really cool about younger people getting a good life coach or a coach of some sort at a young age to help them. Because, I see a lot of the little girls that come in and I do their hair and stuff. And I just absolutely know that in 2 years they're just going to be trouble. Like, you can see the sadness and the things that they deal with at such a young age just written all over it,
Yeah, and it says here bullying. Bullying is a big deal, too.
Bullying's huge.
Today. Isn't it?
Bullying is huge.
Competition and wow, that's so amazing.
Sad, huh?
Yeah, we're going to take a little break right now, but we've got some stuff to get to, lots to get to on the show. So we're going to take a little break and we will be right back. If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced whole food supplement you can buy. Men, women, children, and even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now just take one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed of 4 of the most nutrient-dense algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus, memory, clarity, and mood. And if you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity, is safe for you and your family, and it helps protect against radiation exposure. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at extremehealthradio.com/bioage or call 877-288-9116. Get 10% off your order using coupon code JUSTIN at extremehealthradio.com/bioage. BioAge, the age of advanced organics. If you are currently using any hair care products that contain dyes or colorings, these things can be carcinogenic. You see, anything we put on our skin, even in the shower, gets into our bloodstream and causes a toxic overload to our organs over time. That's why we only recommend Morocco Method hair care products, because they're 100% chemical free, 100% organic, raw, vegan, and even wild crafted and picked according to the lunar cycles. Listen to what our guest Anthony Morocco says about foaming agents in the shampoos.
Well, number one with hair care is the sodium lauryl sulfate, which is the foaming agent, which is really carcinogenic and it's very, very toxic. So that's number one. And so they're so afraid of it. The industry has made 38 different names for it. They've created cocamide, they've created coconut, they've created palm oil. But anything that foams is sodium lauryl sulfate. So I would say that you really need to read your ingredient lists. And if you cannot pronounce the word, it's made in a laboratory.
So would even organic hair care products that foam, would those be damaging as well?
Yes. Organic really today is not what it used to be. So it's just the word. It really, to me, is not reality. If you want a real product, you want to look at wild craft.
As a former hairstylist, I love Anthony's products. If you'd like to have truly healthy and luxurious hair, no matter what your texture, go to extremehealthradio.com/MM for Morocco Method or see it in our store. Again, that's extremehealthradio.com/MM to learn even more.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
having a great time here with our Free For All Friday show. This is episode 291, and this is a special pre-recorded show, so it's not live. But normally we do our shows live Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if you guys want to join us, you can listen to our show right on our website at extremehealthradio.com / wait for it, live. As if it would be anything other than that. / live.
/ water bear.
/ Irriganji. So if you guys have any questions about the BioAge, Kate and I have been loving that lately. We take it every single day. Gosh, such incredible superfood there with the algae and the way they extract. That's the spirulina. I think there's one called Dunaliella. And there's another one too. Astaxanthin, I think, is in there. It's just incredible food. And we did a whole show with, what was his name, Kate? Our sponsor with the BioAge. I forget what his name was.
Oh, why am I blanking?
Oh, yeah, it was Roland Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
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 He's, I forget what episode he is, but man, he is just on top of it.
He is, huh?
Yeah, and I would highly suggest, if you go to extremehealthradio.com / BioAge, I would highly suggest checking that out. Look into it, listen to the interview we did with him, check that out. And also the Morocco method, we got to order some more of that, don't we?
Oh my gosh, we've been out for a little while.
Yeah, we need to order.
Another thing to add to the list.
That stuff is so incredibly good. We had Anthony Morocco? That's his name, right?
No, Anthony...
Yeah, Morocco method.
Is his last name Morocco?
Yeah.
Anthony Morocco? That sounds really weird.
Anthony Morocco. I know, it didn't sound right for a second. Yeah, Anthony Morocco. He was on, I forget what episode he was, but he talked all about the raw, vegan, organic, wildcrafted hair care products he's got. And you know what's weird about that is that whole sodium lauryl sulfate thing is quite interesting to me.
The stuff that lathers up.
Yeah, because we have soap in our bathroom, hand soap, that doesn't lather. Have you noticed that?
I have.
And does that? I don't think that has sodium lauryl sulfate.
No.
But we also have organic dish soap in our sink, and that lathers up.
I know, and it has it in there.
Does it? I didn't look at the ingredients.
Yeah,
I
it's
assume.
down. It's way far down on the list, but it's on there.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if
Yikes.
that's a cancer-causing thing or if that's some sort of chemical, but
I heard it is.
Yeah, it's carcinogenic.
It's not good. I try to stay away from all that stuff, but every once in a while, I'm just like, I'm in a pinch and I'm at the health food store and I'll buy the next best thing, but. Man, I know I'm trying to get away from like 100%, but I don't know if that's ever truly possible. But
did you ever enjoy it, or did you ever get used to it? You did, where your hair didn't lather up using the Morocco method. Yeah,
and actually, Bo and I talk about that too on the Empower Women's podcast. We talk about how funky it is at the beginning to try to kind of get over that hurdle of feeling that squeaky, fresh, clean feeling.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It is. Did you get over it?
I did. It took me quite a bit of time. I wasn't used to it at first, but yeah, I eventually got over it. And it's weird too, because when you dry your hair off after you're done, it feels clean and fresh and normal, but it just doesn't feel that way as you're rinsing it off.
My hair felt really heavy.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. It felt clean, but it felt heavy, like weighed down, and that probably lasted for about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And then it started feeling like cleaner and a little bit lighter, but it definitely wasn't that like fly away clean drying hair. It was very different.
Yeah, it's weird because he talks about. Do you remember him? How he talked about the hair detox?
I do.
How when you use the sodium lauryl sulfate, it's so it strips the hair so much of the oils, natural
the pH
oils.
is so like.
Yeah, the pH is so
through the roof.
Yeah, one way. I forget which way it is, but it causes your body to actually create more oil than it's supposed to, and so you kind of become
overactive, like sebaceous glands. Then
so you become sort of addicted to it because your body creates more because you strip it off, and then.
Well, that's completely true because I know that in the times where I've like totally back in the day, especially like used like even just soap on your face before bed. You'll feel like sucked dry and super clean, and then you wake up the next day, your face is oilier than it's ever been in your life.
Yeah.
Like the more oil, it's like your poor body's just like trying to regulate itself, and yet you're like, why am I so oily? I'm trying to get rid of the oil. Yeah. And now I'm like slathering the weirdest part is now I'm slathering coconut oil and vintage traditions and like oily stuff on my face before bed. And the next day it's like I never even put it on. So it's like taking the opposite effect.
Yeah, it somehow sinks in.
It balances out your like all the oil you got going on.
Yeah.
And it syncs up or something. It's weird.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
Very. It's
I
cool.
like that. We need to get some more of that Morocco method.
I know.
Yeah, because I really like that stuff. It's just so good.
I would love. I don't
on it.
ever want to work at another salon, and I'm not planning on it. But if I ever had to, I would love to work at a salon where we sell his products.
Oh, really? That would be cool.
I'm going to be trying out his color line.
Oh, really?
On one of my friends.
I didn't know that he had a color line.
Yeah, it's all henna based.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like one of the only. I haven't used it yet. I wanted to. It looks like one of the only lines. Let me bring it up here where you can. I can't do two things at once. Where you could actually get some good gray coverage with henna, because henna used to just be like so funky. It used to make everyone's hair orange and just kind of like not a good color.
Yeah, it didn't work that well. Yeah, I know they've probably made some improvements to it since then, and he's just one of those top-notch hairstylists because he used to work on the Kennedys and all these high-end people.
Celebrities.
In New York, yeah, back in the day, in the 60s and 70s and things.
The Raw store, let's see, a Morocco Methods under natural henna hair color.
Oh.
And it looks like, I mean, this is, for somebody who does hair, it's like he has quite the array for, instead of just being like black and then blonde.
Mm-hmm.
He has a couple different things that look really awesome. He has something called it shows the shades of henna. There's like medium blonde, dark blonde, red, light brown, medium brown, dark brown, and black. Mm. And then it tells you like he has a little chart here of like what your natural color is and what you want to get and what you should use. It's pretty cool.
Oh wow!
I know. So
That's cool.
I'll let everybody know how it goes after you try it.
You gonna try it on one of your friends?
I am.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's way cool.
Yes, sir.
So a little while ago, we got an email from a listener about it was a YouTube video he sent in. I forget what his name was, but he sent a YouTube video in with one of our former guests, G. Edward Griffin.
Nice.
And Dr. Ed Park.
Really?
MD. And it was all about the telomeres. And since then, I watched a couple of his videos with Ed Park. And he, I forget what his website, Biological Regeneration Center or something like that. But I looked into a lot of his stuff and saw he was recommended by a lot of people who've been on our show. Nice. Really reputable people. So I decided to email him and have him on the show. And it turns out he wants to be on. And
Woohoo.
He's just up the road here, so he's going to come into the studio. And he sent us a copy of his book, The Telomere Time Bombs.
Nice.
Diffusing the terror of aging. That's quite
Of aging?
Of aging, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Dr. Park graduated. He's from Harvard University in 1989 with a degree in biological anthropology. He earned his MD from Columbia College of Physicians and Surgeons and his Master of Public Health degree from Columbia School of Public Health. Does he have enough degrees? That's amazing.
I don't think so.
He's an author, speaker, and the world's expert in the area of telomerase activation medicine.
Wow.
And so, Suzanne Summers talks about this book too.
Suzanne Summers on the back?
Yeah, wow, interesting. And he sent us the book, so I want to take a look at it before we do the show with him. And
rechargebiomedical.com.
Yeah, Recharge Biomedical. And we're talking about this today about what if people live, because I told you I watched a video with him, and he was talking about that the technology now exists for us to be able to live until 150 to 200 easily, he says.
Gee.
And we're talking about the implications of that and how strange that would be. You know, why we
the conversation
age.
About
Weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
It's one thing, because I was saying to you, it's like you can think about what it would be like to live that age, but if you really thought about your life, we always we're sort of inundated with these thoughts that, you know, we're 35, we're 40, we're too late to marry, blah blah blah. But what if you were to live to 200 years old? And you're 50 years old right now, you got 150 more years left. Isn't that a wild thought?
Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, I can't count on my fingers how many times I've said, I wish we could all live to be 500, like old days or like Bible times. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I don't know if I'd want to live to be 200.
Really?
I don't know. Like you and I were saying that, like if I said you got offered a pill and you could either take the pill and live to be 200 or you just wouldn't take the pill and be done, would you do it? If those were your two choices, it's not like you could change your mind. Like you would absolutely live to be 200 and that would be your life. And I asked if you'd take it and you said you'd probably take it if I would take it. And I said, well, I would only take it if you'd take it, but I'd probably also take it if you could guarantee your family below you was going to take it.
Right.
Because that would be very strange to outlive like possible like 8 or 9 generations of children under you. They'd all die before you would die, and that's really horrible.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, that would be sad. You know, well, you know what? I imagine, would it be sad, more sad? It would be the most sad, with the most immediate generations. Because after your, 7th or 6th generation below you,
you wouldn't really be connected to them.
Yeah, you're sort of more removed, I guess, right? I mean, but it would be sad, I guess, if they didn't take it. But what he's hoping, he said in the video, is that the amount, apparently it's pretty expensive, and so he's hoping that the pills and the medicine becomes, it's actually just an herb that he's working with. It actually rebuilds. Not only does it stop the telomerase from being clipped off and being snipped short, and then the chromosomes from creating damaged cells that aren't able to produce well, but it not only stops it, but it actually regenerates it.
Okay.
And so it's getting to the point where if you don't lose any, if it stops the telomerase from snipping off and being broken off and producing damaged cells, then that's one thing. But then this is actually going in and rebuilding the damaged telomerase and increasing the, what is it, stem cell enzymes and all that. And so it's going back and repairing damaged telomerase. So people will actually live. The technology, apparently, according to him, that we can live that long now, starting now. And so I don't know if it's something that you have to take as a child now, like if you're 5 years old, if you start it now, then 2014.
Yeah.
Or would it work for someone who's 70 who's never even thought about their health,
That'd be weird to experiment with people like that are babies and then like our age and then like 70s and see, like you and I were saying, like if we took it, does that mean we'll stay looking and feeling this age for another 65 years before you feel like you're in your next decade?
Yeah.
Or would we keep aging, but we just like be old looking and still live for another 100 years past that? Or at what point are you kind of stuck in time or frozen for a while?
Yeah, because he mentioned in the video that people bring up to him that people will say to him, well, what about my retirement? What do I do with that? And he was saying, well, if you were on this, you wouldn't be retired because you wouldn't need to retire because you have all the energy and you have the body of someone who's a quarter your age and you have the energy, so you're productive and there's no reason to retire because you're not physically or mentally unable to work anymore. You would just have the energy. You would be, and so would you age like maybe you would do, what is that? What's the age now where people die in their, is it like the life expectancy about 75?
Is it, or is it 80 now? I think it's higher. Here, I'm going to Google it.
So it's about double?
Yeah.
So maybe you would age, I guess you have to take into consideration how old you are at the time you start taking the medication. But for every 2 years that would go by, like let's say if you and I are the exact same age and I take it and you don't, for every 2 years that goes by, I would age 1 year and you would age 2. Mm-hmm. For every 4 years that goes by, I would age 2 years, you would age 4.
Right.
Because that would essentially double your lifespan. But I guess that would be the case if you started taking this as a newborn baby. So you would have to make up for the fact that you hadn't taken it for 40 years or whatever.
I wonder if you could start it as a newborn baby, or when, like, who thinks that's a good idea to start kind of experimenting around with people at that age,
Yeah, this would be cool to have them in the studio to talk to them. I got a lot of questions about this. It's really fascinating.
Well, I can't see America. We'll go with Canada.
Okay.
The overall life expectancy, 82 and a half.
82 and a half. So basically double that.
Uh-huh.
But you would have to start taking this supplement he's talking about from day one in order to age only 1 year for every 2 everybody else ages.
Uh-huh, exactly.
So if you started taking it at 40, you might have to, I'm not sure if you wouldn't live as long or what, but
Well, across the board, it's in the 80s, except for like the 79. See,
What's that?
here's the U.S. 79.8. Men tend to live 77.4 years, and women tend to live 82.2.
wow, that for
Women farther out. I mean, that's always true. They seem to outlive men, but
that's the extra 2-3 years.
is anyone below us here? A couple countries are just a little below, but the average seems to be about 80.
So you essentially double your lifespan, if not more.
Well, you're screwed if you live in North Korea.
North Korea, really?
Oh no, Iraq is worse.
What's that?
Iraq is 68.5.
No, there's a country in South Africa.
I see.
I think it's called Sowotho, or what's the?
South Africa, yeah, 61.
No, there's a country.
59 for males and 63 for women.
Lesotho. Lesotho. That just came to mind. Let me do.
Okay. This is fun. 59 in a place I've never heard of.
Life expectancy.
Togo, where's that? You're only 57. Oh, no, it's getting worse. 52, 51. Oh, and Chad.
Yeah, Lesotho, South Africa, 48.8.
Oh, I see it right here. It says 51 here. 48.8. 48?
That's the life
That
expectancy.
means you're dead in 10 years right now, you.
Wow, I appreciate that. Well, thank you very much. I'm dead in 10 years.
Better not go swimming out in the ocean with those stingrays.
Yeah.
48. Central African Republic is 48.5. Oh, and the Sierra Leone, 47.5.
Oh, my goodness.
Dang, what's going on in those countries?
So it must be some sort of disease.
Wow.
Actually, the Huffington Post, is that a trusted website? I don't know.
I think so.
Is that a trusted, the Huffington Post? Lesotho life expectancy down to 36th. Medical workers, this was written, let's see, 2010, it says. Medical workers are increasingly concerned that the lethal combination of HIV infection and tuberculosis may become the world's next major health crisis. To mark World TB Day on Wednesday, Medicines Sans Frontieres drew attention to Lesotho, which has the world's third highest prevalence of HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, and the fourth highest prevalence of tuberculosis. Here, poverty and dependence on migrant labor complicate treatment in a country where life expectancy is about 40, according to the U.S. state government.
Below 40.
Yeah, well, it says here 40, but then the title says 36. I would have been dead already, 2 years. This places Lesotho among the 5 countries in the world whose citizens have the shortest average lifespan, according to UN and U.S. government figures.
That's really disturbing.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think Maggie could outlive people.
Oh my gosh, right? On
like
her,
those dachshunds, if you take good care of them, and any small dog, I think if you feed them a really amazing raw diet,
like
they
the
live
barf.
to be like 20-something years old.
Yeah,
Like the barf diet.
the barf diet that we got her on.
Wow, that's not cool.
Yeah, 36. Yeah, amazing. So if they take this in Lesotho, they can live to 72, which is still less than we live.
See that? Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That'd be interesting to start kind of experimenting, not on people, but with certain cultures and things. Wouldn't that be?
You mean to give them this herb that he's talking about?
Yeah, I mean if there's a way to kind of experiment without human experimentation, it'd be cool to see if there seriously would be like the people in Lesotho, if you could get them to 70s and then those generations will become stronger and you could get the next generations, like start building back up so that they could live to be 200.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's interesting. Yeah, because one of the big things he was talking about was retirement, and what would you do with all the people that have to retire, and would their money last them? But like he said, if they're productive members of society that are actually able to work, they would never retire. Maybe they would retire if the life expectancy is 200. They might retire at 190 or something. So. In fact, we got us some thoughts about retirement we had while we're in Lake Tahoe, didn't we?
And I have some thoughts about Ebola.
Oh, that's
so. Which way do you want to go?
Well,
Ebola.
After the break, let's talk about both, actually, because a lot of stuff's been going on with Ebola.
Yeah, because we're talking about weird countries with strange diseases. Not weird countries, but just countries with weird things going on.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that when we get back. Ebola and retirement. Maybe we'll retire with Ebola. Who knows?
Your body will retire.
your body will retire. So this is episode 291. Is that correct? I keep forgetting. Is that correct? 291?
It is, yeah.
And we broadcast live 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if you'd like to join us, you can go to extremehealthradio.com/live at 9 a.m. Pacific on those days, and you can listen and join the chat room. We've got a really cool community.
I love our chat.
Developing in the chat room every day.
So
cool.
fun, huh?
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back right after this break. Kate and I have had our sauna for about a year now, I'd say, when we first got it from Phil Wilson. And it's an incredible machine. We use ours about every single day. Kate sits in about 20 minutes, and I sit in there about for a half hour. Usually watch a documentary, and it's extremely relaxing. It's really, really an incredible machine. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/sauna, you can learn all about it. We did an entire hour interview with Phil Wilson. You can check that out. You can look at the pictures of us with it. You can watch videos on that page. It helps you to sleep really, really well. You can lose a lot of weight with it. You can burn, I think, around 600 calories in about 20 minutes or so. It improves your skin, increases circulation all over the body, and circulation is critical for your health. You can prevent and reverse diseases with it. If you have a cold or flu, it's incredible. It heats you down to the core. It heats 4 to 6 inches inside your body, so it's really incredible. And a lot of people use it for cancer as well. So if you have any kind of incurable, quote, disease, you can use it for that. And Dr. Shade is the foremost authority on detoxification. And listen to what he says about it.
How do I detoxify from plastics? I mean, you guys are using a sauna, and what does a sauna do for us? A sauna is great. It's moving a number of different toxins. Remember, we talked about the mice that if you put PCBs in there, then that made the mercury all that much worse. And sweating moves out a lot of plastics, volatiles, fat-based toxins. It's really good at moving those out, sweating those out. So that's how you're getting those out, and those are contributing to this synergistic soup inside the body. And so that's why they're good, is they're taking out a bunch of the different things in the soup.
And Daniel Vitalis, one of our favorite guests. What do you have to say about the sauna?
When you go into the sauna, like a far-infrared sauna like you discussed, your body goes into a deep relaxation mode, and your sympathetic nervous system shuts down and your parasympathetic nervous system turns on. And when that's active, that's the nervous system, part of your nervous system that's active when you meditate. That becomes active, and your detoxification pathways open up wide. Why is this important? It's important because when you go running and you sweat, you're not necessarily eliminating very much toxicity from your body. But when you sweat in the sauna, you eliminate a lot of toxicity from your body. So sweating in a relaxed state is how we eliminate. The other thing is that what's wonderful about the sauna is that it puts you in a parasympathetic nervous system response, like as if you were meditating. So it's almost a hack. It's like a trick to get yourself into a meditative, relaxed state, to decompress stress, to reverse the effects of stress, and to get your body eliminating deep, deep toxicity that's stored in your body fat because it can come out in the oils of your skin. So I think, sauna is one of the most crucial detoxification, really health practices that we could take on, especially in this era of heavy toxicity, particularly fat-soluble toxins.
This sauna is really, really great. They offer payment plans because if you buy it through PayPal, it's 100% secure. You don't even need a PayPal account. I think you could do a payment plan through PayPal. It's got low EMF electromagnetic fields coming off of it. It's portable, so that means you don't have to knock down a wall in your house. You can just move it from room to room. It sets up in about 2 to 5 minutes. It's super easy to clean. All you got to do is wipe it down when you're done and wipe the neck down. And it produces energy and heat inside very, very evenly throughout the whole machine. All you have to do is sit in there for about 15 minutes a day. And the great thing I like about it too is it requires zero preheating. So you turn it on and you're starting to get warm and you're starting to detoxify with that far infrared light almost immediately. So it's really great. It comes with a 1-year warranty. It's about $990 plus $25 shipping. And that's really, really a good deal because if you look at most of the regular saunas out there, they are in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So this is really, really a good deal. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna. So a few years ago when I was working for this company, it was a really small company, and I had been wanting a Vitamix blender for years and years and years, but they're so expensive, and I just hadn't saved the money at that time to get one. And so as a Christmas bonus, they knew that I loved the Vitamix, so they got me a Vitamix, the 5000 blender. And that thing is so incredible. It was right at the beginning of my raw food journey, and I was using it about 3 times a day, really. Today, I still use it about twice a day to make blended smoothies and things like that. But the Vitamix blender is really, really great. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, that will redirect you over to there, and then you'll be able to purchase that, and we'll get a commission for your order. And you'll also get free shipping, too, so that'll be great for you if you're interested in saving about $25 on the shipping. And with the Vitamix, you can make sauces and dips and bread. You could make ice cream with it. I've done a lot of ice cream. You can just make the most incredible things. And it's my favorite because it's got a tamper on it. And you can put ice and frozen berries and avocado and some honey and things like that, and with no water at all. And you have that tamper, and you can make the most amazing ice creams with it. So the Vitamix is my favorite blender of choice, and if you're in the market to buy one, I would greatly encourage you to do so if you have the money for it. And if you do it through us, through extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, I'll get a little commission for it, and you'll get free shipping. So it works out for you and for us too. So if you're in the market, please do it through us. That'd be really cool. And you're going to love this thing when you get it. You're going to fall in love with it. You'll never go back to a regular blender again. So check that out, extremehealthradio.com/Vitamix, and I hope you enjoy it.
All free shows, all the time, on Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join our community today. Sign up to our email list and instantly get our free gift to you, along with loads of inspirational content and cutting-edge tips to help change your life at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe.
Not easy dancing to this music, is it? We're trying, and it's not
I wish we could have that on video. That was awesome. We're horrible.
That was, well, this
anyone would be dancing to this.
Isn't too good for dancing.
No. Especially when you're sitting down in a chair, strapped to all these cords with your microphone in your ear. There's not a lot of room for dance.
Not a lot of room for dancing. Hey, so how do you like that Coconut Bliss ice cream?
Loved
looks like
it.
You made your way through a couple things of that.
Do you really want to go there right now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we'll let that one lie.
They're sitting here looking like I ate through both of them. That's just because you left me about an inch of each. And we bought them yesterday, and they're pints. So
oh, man.
The finger, for every finger pointed at you, there's 3 pointing back at me. But in this situation, I'm just going to point my whole hand toward you.
Your whole hand at me.
Because it's pretty much your fault.
All 5.
All 5 fingers. That Coconut Bliss ice cream, though, I tell you, during a summer month, there's nothing like it.
Isn't it so good?
They make yummy dark chocolate like fudge bars.
Yes.
Yum! I cannot get enough of those
You're
things.
so excited about that.
I love the Coconut Bliss.
Hey, we have to, you know what we have to do is, speaking of ice cream, we have to talk about our little shake that we've been making lately.
Oh! Ho, ho, ho.
That is good.
This makes my whole day.
I will take credit for this.
We have a lot to talk about. How do you go from milkshakes to Ebola?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. How do you make that segue? I don't know.
They both are basically liquefying
your
insides.
Right. Your innards.
This isn't good. That's not a good
That's not very good.
comparison.
Where'd that come from?
Is that what Ebola does?
Well, I read a book a long time ago called The Hot Zone, which was really interesting. And it was based off of, from what I understand, it was based off a true story. I must have read this book 20 years ago or so. But it was about the outbreak of Ebola, I think in the 80s in Africa. It talked about where it came from, and fascinating book. But yeah, that's basically kind of what it talked about. I have to reread that. I think it was by somebody Preston, Richard Preston or something.
Is that right? Okay, I'll put a link.
The Hot Zone. But yeah, it is
scary.
just horrifying what this Ebola thing does.
Is there any known treatment for it?
Well, I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much, but I think that there are cures for everything. I think There's natural cures for everything.
I'm starting to be with you on that.
It's just a matter of looking and searching and being diligent and taking it upon yourself to do that. I think there's cures for everything.
So we got an interesting email in regards to that from our buddy Chris Kaler.
Yes.
And let me bring this up.
He did
here.
like sort of a mass healing for North Africa, right?
He did, and he's saying that this is really, really, really the time to start kind of turning things around. Otherwise, we're obviously in a big trouble because he said that if we don't, it's going to spread and it might start to come to our land and.
You realize if that happens, I mean, you realize in today's world with the airplanes and how quickly people can travel, how incredibly damaging that would be to people.
It's like that freaky movie. Did you ever see Contagion? Did you ever see that?
I saw Outbreak.
Oh, it's probably like the same thing.
With Rene Russo and Dustin Hoffman, I think.
I wouldn't see either of those movies. I haven't seen that or the other one that I'm talking about because
Which one is that?
Two.
The one you're talking about?
With Gwyneth Paltrow, I think it's called Contagion.
Gwyneth Paltrow, why can't... Oh,
she's on an airplane and brings back some freaky disease and dies like right away, and then a bunch of infects like everybody around her. It's just freaky.
Those movies to me are so
like sensationalized.
So sensationalized.
I know.
And Hollywood just wants to. I mean, talk about fear.
Yeah, I know.
It's just man.
It's not good, but.
So you didn't see that?
No, I didn't. Did you see the other one, Outbreak?
I did. That was back when I was, just had no filter, I just watched stuff like that, but now
did you think it was all sci-fi at the time anyway? Or did it freak you out?
No, see, I had read The Hot Zone a couple years before that movie came out, I think, and that came out, and so I was interested in it, but I didn't think it was, I thought it was definitely possible, but...
Well, we don't want to have that kind of a situation, so Chris Kaler is really, really kind and trying to just be able to put his free resources out there to help people. So he sent us a video and asked us and anybody else to spread this on so that anybody who is affected in North Africa or anywhere and placed in the line of fire with this Ebola can get a energetic healing through watching the video. So could we put a link to his video, and if anyone's interested in checking it out?
Yeah, we'll put a link to that.
We watched it last night, you and I. It's about 3 minutes, and he does like this mass healing, and I'll tell you, like you and I stood there. He uses his what do you call it, like a pyramid or a triangle? Or
he's got this pyramid with crystals and stuff on it.
And points it at the
camera.
And I personally am very sensitive to energy, and I completely, it threw me back a bit.
Yeah, I didn't feel anything, but you're really sensitive. I'm finding
really
that you're
sensitive.
really much more sensitive than I am.
Yeah.
But
so there's definitely some power in that, and it's amazing that he's doing it just to help humanity. And we've talked to a lot of people that he's helped personally, and if everyone in need actually can get to this video, that's his goal, is to have this be about just humanity, not anything about money. It doesn't cost anything. It's free.
Yeah, it's all free. You can just pass it on.
Pass it on to anybody and everybody. So we'd be really stoked if everybody can do that.
Yeah.
If you're interested in that.
Yeah, I think that he's on to something, and who knows if his stuff works. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it works.
I feel kind of silly. I didn't know how bad the Ebola virus was right now because I don't listen to the news. Usually I'm a little bit up on things, but I had no clue about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with the Ebola virus lately.
Like, when did it start, coming back on the... when has it become a popular thing again?
I don't know. It's... It says here 2 Americans infected with the Ebola virus returning to the U.S.
When is that today?
Let's take a look here. 2 Americans infected with Ebola virus returning to U.S. for treatment. A U.S. contracted medical charter flight left Georgia Thursday to evacuate 2 American charity workers in Liberia infected with Ebola hemorrhagic fever, a source told CNN. Let's see. A CNN crew saw the airplane, a long-range business jet. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It was not immediately known when the 2 Americans identified as Dr. Kent Brantley and Nancy Wrightball would arrive in the United States, where the plane would land. There's this experimental serum, it says. I could play the video, but I don't think I will. But let's see. It says here, although there's no known cure or vaccine for Ebola, now, considering this is just a major media article, there is no known cure for Ebola, which the World Health Organization says is believed to have infected 1,323 people in West Africa nations of Guinea, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria between March and July 27th. Of those suspected cases, it is believed to have been fatal in at least 729, according to the health organization. It is believed to be the worst Ebola outbreak in history, and even in best-case scenario, it could take 3 to 6 months to stem the epidemic in West Africa, Dr. Thomas Frieden, director of the CDC, told reporters. The outbreak also prompted the CDC to issue a warning against all, wow, this is a word I've never seen before, honosential? Or, I'm sorry. It's late.
Is it homosexual?
No, it's not even that. My mouse is over the N, so it looks like the N is an H. That's just non-essential. Because my mouse, it went right over it, and it looks like the N is an H. Oh, man. That's bad.
That's pretty good.
I've never seen this word before. Non-essential. Wow, this is strange. Non-essential travel. Okay, so the outbreak has also prompted the CDC to issue a warning against all non-essential travel to the countries coping with an outbreak. Both
We're crying.
Both Brantley, a 33-year-old who has lived in Texas, and Wright Ball, who were caring for Ebola patients in Liberia, both afflicted with this. Wow. That's crazy.
So what? Like, there's no hope for them? Or were they thinking about not letting them back into the U.S., I wonder?
I don't know. This is a long article. I'll put the link to this. The current death toll is the highest on record with the WHO and is still growing. The epidemic is without precedent, said Bart Janssens, director for operations with the Doctors Without Borders. Blah, blah, blah. It's absolutely not under control, and the situation keeps worsening. The rate of infection has slowed in Guinea, is that how you say it?
I think Guinea, like Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea, but is increased in neighboring Sierra Leone and Liberia. As infection accelerates, some aid groups are pulling out to protect their own. Samaritan's Purse, the Peace Corps Wednesday, is doing the same. Yeah, removing its 340 volunteers. Wow.
Oh, wow.
From the 3 severely affected nations.
Wow.
So it's pretty...
Yeah, Chris Keller was mentioning if anyone or anybody that knows anyone that's in these areas or could be possibly affected, to watch this video. But do you know do you know how it spreads?
I don't. I wish I did.
Can we find out?
Yeah.
Let me Google it.
How does Ebola spread?
Yeah.
Gosh, you can find out anything these days, can't you?
Isn't that crazy? At your fingertips. How does Ebola spread? Taxis, planes, and viruses. How deadly Ebola... Ew. Let's see here.
How does it say?
How does it spread? Let's find out. I don't like that it says taxis, planes, and viruses.
How does...
What's Newsweek? I don't know if I trust that one.
Ebola spreads in the community through human-to-human transmission resulting from close contact with the blood, secretions, organs, or other bodily fluids of infected people. So it's basically just through the bodily fluids with contact with infected people.
So obviously that does make sense that probably you'd get more exposure if you're working like in those groups to aid people that are in health, probably in clinics and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's a human disease caused by the Ebola virus. Some symptoms typically start 2 days to 3 weeks after contacting the virus with a fever, throat and muscle pains, headaches. Then there's typical nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, along with a decreased functioning of the liver and kidneys.
I saw that right here.
At this point, some people begin to have problems with bleeding. The disease is usually acquired when a person comes into contact with the blood or bodily fluids of an infected animal, such as a monkey or a fruit bat. Fruit bats are believed to carry and spread the virus without being affected by it. Wow.
I wonder if you have to be in a really bad place to get it. I wonder if it's like the HIV scare, like if your immune system's running at perfected levels if you're not even susceptible to getting these things? Like if you can't get it, you know?
Yeah, I wonder, right? You wonder if people that are super, super, super healthy, like if you're taking the olive leaf extract, like we had Gordon Melcher on the show, you know, talking about that, enhancing your immune system. You know, maybe even, I bet this would work. I bet you that what's his name's working on this with the MMS. Jim Humble.
Oh, Jim Humble.
I wonder what that does to the Ebola virus. Probably kills it.
I would try everything, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So do they think, yeah, right? MMS.
According to Wikipedia, no Ebola virus specific treatment exists. Treatment is primarily supportive in nature and includes minimizing invasive procedures, balancing fluids and electrolytes to counter dehydration, administration of anticoagulants early in the infection to prevent or control disseminated intravascular coagulation. Yeah, apparently it liquefies your organs.
Gross. That's horrible.
According to Doctors Without Borders, early treatment may increase the survival chance since there is no known cure. Treatment focuses on replenishing fluids, maintaining proper blood pressure, replacing lost blood, and treating related infections.
I wonder if the people those two that just came back to the U.S. Are planning on like just coming home to die.
I don't know.
Because even if you don't die from it, do you recover from it? Because it says 90% of people that get it die from it. But what about the 10% that don't? Do they go back to being normal?
Gosh, that's a good question. Nigeria's Minister of Health, it gives his name, is really hard to pronounce, says the government is still searching for more people that had contact with Sawyer on his journey on a plane that stopped in Accra, Ghana, and Lome and Togo before traveling to Lagos. As of now, the outbreak has been confined to West Africa, but it could spread via travel, especially since people who have Ebola may not even know it. Symptoms usually manifest 2 to 21 days. Further complicating matters, signs of Ebola include fever, headaches, weakness, and vomiting, symptoms that also define many other ailments like malaria and the flu. And which typically pop up this time of year. Wow. That's really cool that Chris is doing something about this because apparently it's it's definitely not under control.
Really? Yeah.
It's crazy, huh?
Wow. So we're gonna definitely put the link to that, right?
Yeah, his video about that.
Was it Ebola on YouTube? You can look up mass graves.
Oh yeah, mass graves.
Or what is it? Shoot.
We'll put a link to the video. This is going to be on episode 281 or 291?
291.
291, yeah. So extremehealthradio.com/291. We'll put the link to Chris's video there, which you can pass on to your friends and things like that.
Wow.
People like that, yeah.
Crazy town, huh?
Yeah, wild, isn't it?
Wild.
Yeah, so that's why it behooves us to take care of our health, you know. It's gotta stay strong. I wanted to talk about the whole idea of retirement. Remember we're talking about that in Tahoe?
Yeah.
We're talking about how funny it is with people and how a lot of people are so focused on retirement. And the whole idea is, the more I think about it, the more it's such a strange word. Because we're talking about retire. What does it mean? What does tire mean? To retire yourself or retire.
Huh.
You know, it's odd. But it's funny that you would stop working at some age. I find that to be very weird.
Yeah, right?
You know, if you're doing... But see, it makes sense to save for retirement if you're going to retire if you hate your job or you don't like working. But if you love working, I think it's one of the most healthy things you can do. I think one of the most healthy things you can do is find work you love to do and do that.
Yeah.
Do
for
that.
the rest of your life. I mean, to however long you can.
Until you, it's for all the days of your life. Because why would you ever stop if you love what you're doing, no matter what it is? Why would you ever stop?
Well, then it goes along with that quote, like, what does it do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work. I know the idea of it is just, now that I have something I love so much that I've never loved working at anything as much as I love doing this, I don't ever want to be done.
Yeah.
It might not be this show forever, but it'll be like, I never want to be done learning, growing, evolving, helping people.
Yeah.
Being able to get back in new ways all the time would be so cool.
I know.
Why would you ever want to retire? I mean, but that's the lie we've been sold.
Oh my gosh, that's a lie.
I mean, it starts from the minute that you're tiny, and like everybody talks about, like, I mean, I remember my own grandparents just talking about they couldn't wait to be retired so they could do this, this, and this. It's like your life couldn't start until you were retired, and at that point, you know, when you're a little kid looking at your grandparents, you're like, well, you're old then, you know, like. Yeah,
what energy and what kind of shape are you going to be in when you're, if you don't take care of yourself, what kind of shape are you going to be in when you're 65, 70 years old?
Right, which isn't that old, but.
Which is not that old at all.
Right.
You know, it's it makes sense if you hate your job, and I think that whole mentality comes from, you know, it comes from that whole generation of past where people had to do jobs they hated. You know, people had to do that, and I realize that you know, for us it's been a huge struggle, and it's been challenging, very challenging to find. To first of all find what it is that we're passionate about, but then also to make that work.
Yeah, right.
And we're still, you know, it's still not, you know, it's still a little bit scary in terms of your support and, you know, supporting us and being able to do the show for free. And, you know, it's still,
it's really tough.
Yeah. We're still, I mean, it's not like we're making millions of dollars doing this at all. Not even close.
Right.
You know, we're still sometimes barely able to pay the bills, but we're doing it.
Yeah,
and we're getting closer and closer with everyone's support. And, you know, and when you find your passion, and we talked about this with Amy Schuber, episode 289.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the healthiest things you can ever do for yourself is find work you love to do. It may even be healthier than eating properly or anything else.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I think it's just, it makes your soul soar, you know?
Soul crushing.
Yeah.
When you do a job you hate, yeah.
But when you find what you love, it's like your soul soars. Like, that's what I meant. Like, you take wing, like you take flight.
Oh, yeah.
You soar. Like, you're so happy. You're thriving. And it's the complete opposite when you're not. And I don't know about you. I mean, I've never loved anything until I found helping people, you know?
In this way?
In this way, yeah.
Yeah. I know, because when I see...
I don't ever want to be done.
I don't either. I don't ever want to be done helping people. I don't ever want to be done bringing this incredible knowledge. First of all, I just love talking to people. I love talking to interesting people about interesting ideas. And then I love that we can make that available to people to expand and open their minds. But, you know, why would I ever want to be done talking about this kind of stuff? Or because when I was first getting into this, I remember learning and hearing Dr. Marshall. I was working for a storage company at the time doing deliveries, and I would do deliveries on Saturday mornings, and I would listen to Healthline with Dr. Bob Marshall, who we've had on our show.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I remember listening to him as I was driving the truck, getting ready to prepare it for delivery for people that are moving out of their apartments and things. And I remember he said there's only one disease, you know, and there's no such thing as cancer. Then there's no such thing as any disease. It's all a cellular breakdown, a cellular miscommunication. And if you can overcome that and fix how the body responds and talks to itself and develop healthy cells, you will, in essence, get rid of cancer. You'll get rid of heart disease. You'll get rid of everything. When we start focusing on specific ailments and diseases, then you start seeing dollar signs in the medical establishment's eyes, because then you can have doctors that focus on this particular ailment, or here's a cancer doctor, here's a foot doctor, or here's a doctor that specializes just in your brain. Mm-hmm. And in actuality, all this stuff is connected. Mm-hmm. It's all connected. And so when I started learning that there are treatments for cancer that work, that don't include chemotherapy, it's like, my gosh, I just want to tell people.
I know.
Like, hey, you don't have to go get chemo. You don't have to do these things if you don't want. You don't have to be bullied into them. And so I just started learning as much as I could for about 10 years before we started doing this show, listening to everything I could get my hands on, soaking it all up, because I knew I wanted to help people somehow, some way. And this whole idea of saving for retirement, you know, we're going to save our money and start saving better than we are now. But the idea of just coasting and just stopping everything you're doing and living off that money, to me, is just a foreign concept. You know?
I looked up the word retire here on Wikipedia.
Oh, what does it say?
Or not Wikipedia, I'm sorry, a dictionary.
Uh-huh.
It says, to stop a job or career because you have reached the age when you are not allowed to work anymore or do not need to work anymore or want to work anymore. And then it says the second, to cause someone such as a military officer to end a job or career.
Okay.
Or to stop playing in a game, competition, etc., especially because of injury. But I thought, wow, that last one kind of got to me. It's like to stop playing in a game. It's like the game of life. It's like you're just done. Like you've given up. A lot of people probably want to retire and go do, quote, fun things that they've waited their whole life to do.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you had to give up a bunch of stuff to get there and you missed all the life in between. Like
the best part of your life you give up.
I feel like you tapped out of the game early so you could get all this stuff in the end that there's no guarantee that's going to be there anyway.
Yeah, and people don't talk about, you're basically, when you are focused on retirement, you are retiring from the best years of your life in order to possibly experience some sort of benefit later on in life that may or may not be there.
And there's no guarantee, right?
Because if the dollar collapses or if we start moving to a different currency, which a lot of people are talking about, or Bitcoin, there's digital currencies like this. If your money somehow is worthless when you're older, you're basically, retirement is retiring from the game of life early in life. It's retiring the best years of your life to save for something that may or may not be there in the future,
Right. And not like there's any guarantees ever anyway, but you have a little bit more of a guarantee than now. And I'm not saying go ahead and be foolish.
No, I think I want to save for retirement and was going to start, but I never want to stop working. For me, I never want to.
The cool thing that I want to go toward one day is being able to, you can decide to quit if you want, to have the option. That's a really comforting feeling to decide whether or not you want to keep going. Because so many people don't have that option and they have to work until they die. And that's a horrible feeling.
Right. To have
the option to just go play if you want and not have to worry. But I also think there's something beautiful about just never quitting the game.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember we talked with, what was his name? Gosh, I'm drawing up a blank here. What was his? Carl Helvey.
Oh, yeah. He was like 80-something?
Yeah, he is the longest living lung cancer survivor.
Oh, that's right.
In the world. And he was able to, at least according to his story, we haven't obviously, looked at his medical records and all that stuff. But according to his story, he talked about how he got on vitamin B17, and that's when we started taking vitamin B17.
That's
Remember
right.
that? Yeah, because
that's right.
That's really we take about 500 milligrams of that.
Yeah, that's right. After we had him in the interview, and he was like talking about how he just came in from like chasing his geese around or like swimming laps in the pools. We're like, oh, you're like 85 or whatever.
He's late 80s now.
Jeez.
Yeah, and he was out there. He says he's just got back from doing some public speaking, some events, and he's working on another book.
That's right. I think he was, huh? He was like, I'm never ending.
Yeah.
But that guy was cool.
Because when you have a story, when you have something like that where you help people, why would you ever quit?
That kind of stuff is inspiring. Those people are inspiring to me. Like,
aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, G. Edward Griffin's getting up there in age, and he's still just working, helping people, creating documentaries. He did the whole World Without Cancer documentary.
Oh, was that him?
On B17, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
G. Edward Griffin.
Yeah, this whole idea of retirement, I just think it's a philosophy that I think comes from, the 1800s and early 1900s and mid 1900s, where you have to work jobs that you hate. Today we have an option. A lot of people are stuck in jobs they hate because they have to pay bills, they have a family, but there's nothing stopping you from spending a couple hours a night working on something on the side, a side business, and building and growing that in 5 years' time. That could be something that's a passion of yours that you could learn how to monetize and take that as your vehicle to start making money. And so, if you start loving your work, like we're so blessed that
so blessed.
Oh gosh, we've been there. We so know what that feels like to work jobs you hate. You still are doing it for, a little bit, but you're growing out of it.
Sure. Yeah.
But
so thankful.
Gosh, I feel so blessed to be able to do this.
I know. There's no feeling like it, being able to help people. Hopefully. I mean, I think we are, because people said we are, but
yeah,
isn't
we get
that
emails.
what it's all about?
Yeah, it's just amazing. Hey, so I want to tell you on Facebook, did you see what Daniel Vitalis had for dinner tonight? I'm sorry, for breakfast this morning?
No, what'd he have?
Wild grasshopper.
What?
Wild milkweed fruits, wild chanterelles, and wild fermented kimchi. That's 4 kingdoms of food: animal, plant, fungi, and bacteria.
For breakfast?
Anyone been eating insects? I'm so into it right now.
He's eating grasshoppers?
Yeah, you want
Let me
to
see it.
take a look? You got a picture of it?
Oh.
Isn't that hilarious?
Wow. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I saw he
Wild
sprinkles them with spices. I bet they'd be pretty good. Yeah, a lot of people...
That's Bear Grylls breakfast right there.
Yeah, he says that there's a comment here. Do you have any videos on how to prepare them? I'm totally into the idea. Probably the most sustainable form of animal protein on the planet.
I know that to be true.
Daniel Vitalis, he replied, check out my June bug video. No way.
He's June bugs too?
Prepare in pretty much the same way. More insect videos to come for sure. Wow, I would do that. I would do that. Yeah,
that wouldn't creep you out?
Nah, not like a grasshopper or a June bug. But you know what I would have a hard time with?
What?
I don't know what those...
A spider?
Well, yeah, a spider. I don't like spiders. But what were those bugs that are around our town? And I
think they're called potato bugs.
We've seen them, and they're massive, aren't they?
They have a face.
They have a face that almost... they're so big, and their faces and heads are so large. It's the only insect I've ever seen that looks like it expresses emotion.
Ooh, this is it.
What is it called?
You're going to freak out. A potato bug.
What do I search for on...
Potato bug.
It's just a potato bug?
I think so.
I thought potato bugs were small.
No, I don't know. This thing looks like the one we see, and they're creepola.
Oh, yeah. No, it's...
Is that not it?
It says here the Jerusalem cricket?
Yeah, it's another word for potato bug, isn't it?
Is that it?
That's the same thing I have. Jerusalem cricket. The Orkin man. It has also been called the old bald man and the potato bug.
Ooh. Jerusalem crickets are a group of large flightless insects of the genus Stenopelematus. They are native to the western United States and parts of Mexico. Its large head has inspired both Native American and Spanish names. How funny.
Is that it? Does that look like it?
Yeah, check this out. Look at this picture.
Oh, no. Yeah. I don't remember the ones that we have having those things come out of their heads. They usually look more like...
oh, yeah, that's it.
Like they have these like creepy, like almost almond alien-looking eyes. I'm going to call it the Archon bug.
The Archon bug?
I'm going to Google
Mount Shasta?
I'm going to Google creepy images of bugs with faces.
Oh, wow. That's got to be good.
Watch this.
I thought potato bugs were much different than this. I would have a hard time eating these potato bugs because they are really big. See, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's on this guy's hand.
Is this for real?
See? We need to have a video podcast because this is
too good.
We got to share this stuff.
They look... What the heck? Is this made out of metal? Is that a joke? Is that like a...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Look at this thing.
We're just doing a Google image search here.
Is this thing smiling?
Oh, my gosh.
That came up with creepy... If anybody wants to know, just Google creepy bugs with faces. Images.
Creepy bugs with faces? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I don't like those things. Why are we talking about those?
Well, because Daniel Vitalis' breakfast. See, we need to go over to his house. He has a June bug video that Daniel... Have you eaten your insects today? It's called.
Yeah. I'd have a really hard... I'd rather eat a squirrel.
Really? Mm-hmm. Would you eat a squirrel?
If I was in the woods and I had to, yeah.
If you were kind of forced to?
Yeah, I'd rather barbecue like something with meat on it. There's something about crunchy bugs. Why are we talking about this? This is gross.
Hey, this is part of the ancestral diet.
I can't believe he eats this. I mean, I can, but...
Now,
yeah, it's definitely the potato bug.
If you cook it up and, put spices on it, put it in a nice crunchy salad,
Nah.
Nah.
Yuck. I just have chills all over
Piece
my
of cake.
body.
Piece of cake.
Yuck. Piece of bug. Piece of grossness.
Oh my gosh.
I know they're really good for you. I can't get beyond crunchy things. It's just nasty.
Hey, what does this say by Dr. Robert Kassar? He says, someone once asked me if I was, quote, out of my mind, to which I replied, of course I am, as it's dark and scary in there. There is nothing more secure than an opinion based on little to no knowledge. It's hard to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on him not understanding it. Dr. Kassar. That's interesting.
That is interesting. Huh. He said that? That was his quote?
Yeah, that was his quote.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, so you wouldn't follow this Daniel Vitalis diet, huh?
I don't, you know what? I mean, obviously if I was desperate, I would do anything, but that would be the very last thing that would appeal to me. Ugh.
He says that's wild grasshopper, wild milkweed, fruits, wild, I don't know what chanterelles is, do you?
How do you spell it?
Chanterelles.
Mm-mm.
And wild fermented kimchi. That's 4 kingdoms of food: animal, plant, fungi, and bacteria.
Fungi.
Yeah, interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Kate, I think it's about time to wrap it up.
How much time was that?
An hour and 21.
I'm out.
Yeah. You're tapping out?
Peace out, peeps.
Peace out, peeps.
Hope I don't have freaky dreams later about potato bugs
eating insects
and water bears.
And life expectancy in Lesotho.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, we talked about longevity, though.
That's true. We did.
Yeah,
Makes
so that
me
was
feel
good.
better. Good.
Yeah, that was good. So this is episode 291. We're going to share everything that we talked about. We're going to come up with all the links. We'll put everything we talked about, the books, everything, on this show page, as well as the Telomere Time Bomb. Dr. Ed Park. That's looks like an interesting book. So we'll put all of that on extremehealthradio.com/291. And I want to let you guys know, too, don't forget to check out the BioAge superfoods. We just love Roland Thomas, such a great guy. And he's a great sponsor of the show. extremehealthradio.com/BioAge. And also don't forget to check out the Morocco method, which is extremehealthradio.com/MM. The Vitamix blender, don't forget to check that out. Amazing.
We've been using that thing at least 2 or 3 times a day. We didn't tell people.
We didn't tell people. I just realized.
We got to tell them about this yummy, yummy, yummy recipe you created.
But first, I want to tell them also about the sauna too. The Vitamix and the sauna. The sauna is just amazing. You guys, I'm serious in telling you guys this. It's such a great machine. If you can figure out a way to save up for it, or figure out some way of getting that, it is just I don't know how to explain it. It's just an incredible, incredible, incredible machine. And the way it allows you to sweat and detox, to me, it just feels like it's the ultimate. It's probably takes second fiddle to me, at least, for doing coffee enemas. But
yeah, I think so too.
It's one of the ultimate acts of self-care and self-love that I think you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, coffee enemas, I think, is a little bit further because it's, you're sticking something up your butt. But it is, the sauna is just, I just wish everyone had the ability to have one of these things. They're just so great. They're just so great. I can't recommend them highly enough. And I know that everyone that orders one from us, they always write in and just say they love it.
Yeah, I think people are pleasantly surprised. Like, our friend Tana recently purchased one, and I said, "Watch out, girl! You're gonna sweat your eyeballs out on that thing. Like, it's so insane." And I think she was like, "We'll see." And then the next day, she's like, "You're right. I completely sweat my eyeballs out." Like,
yeah.
I think people are. I mean, I couldn't believe it till I tried it, and it was different trying it on the showroom floor when we went to that health convention.
Yeah, we got to meet Phil.
That was great. Yeah, we sat in there, for 20 minutes or about 10 minutes actually, and it felt really warm and good. But I wasn't ever like overheating. And when we got it in the house, I'm like, holy moly! I had no idea it was this capable.
Yeah, it's just you start sweating, I would say, at least I think everyone's different, but I start sweating it depends on the day too. Sometimes in the winter it might take me 10 or 15 minutes to sweat, but I mean a lot of times I might start sweating 5 minutes into it.
I've never been that quick, but I'm not a good sweater. I'm becoming better, but yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and it's so great too because it's portable. You can lend it to your friends. You don't have to knock out a wall in your house or build this whole big contraption that's not $4,000 or $2,000, which a lot of these things are. It's the far infrared is incredible. The way it heats evenly throughout the whole thing. I don't know. I just think it's such a great thing, you know?
Yeah, I'm sold on those. If somebody asked me that question, like, what could you not live without on your island, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That would be honestly one of my top 5 things. Like,
yeah,
I would miss it. I would need it. Like,
yeah,
I really, really, really enjoy it.
It's one of those things where you want to do it every day, and it's not, and you know you should do it every day, but it's one of those things that you want to.
I know.
It's not like
you crave it.
Yeah, it's not like something that you feel like you have to do. It's something that you really, I don't know. I just think it's awesome.
I do too. I love it.
You know, and you miss, and you know, if you don't do it, it's not like you miss, like you feel guilty.
No,
but you miss it because you miss how good it makes you feel.
Yeah, when we were gone that last week in Tahoe, I just missed it. I love it. I crave it.
Yeah, and it's cool too because you get to put on a little documentary while you watch it, or some movie or something. Just sit there for 30 minutes and relax, and it's sort of like you time, you know?
Yeah. You know that when you zip that thing up and it's just you in the sauna, you're just in the moment, and it is like the coffee enema where that's your sacred space and nobody's going to be bothering you. And
Yeah, you could do a little meditation there, and it has little zippers for your hands if you want to read a book or something.
It's pretty cool.
You could do that too. But we should tell people about this really cool drink we've been making lately because we forgot about this.
Yeah, I don't know how you created this thing, but it blows doors on any other drink you've ever made before.
Oh, this thing is so cool.
You're amazing.
I'm a blender chef.
You really are.
A blender chef.
You're a liquid chef.
A liquid chef. Not Ebola liquid. But no, this is really good.
There's nothing funny about Ebola.
No, there's nothing funny about it. But this is really cool. It's a combination of liquids, which I do almond milk,
okay,
and coconut water if we have it. If I can do coconut milk, so we'll cut the young Thai coconuts, strain the water, cut out the meat, cut off the shards, and blend the meat with the water and make a coconut milk that's really thick and creamy.
Really thick, right?
So we'll sometimes have that. If not, I'll do it with just water. But if I have almond milk or coconut water or coconut milk, I'll usually combine those 50-50. And I'll put a little
soaked almonds, by the way, because that makes all the difference for me because I can't really do almonds.
Oh, yeah.
And when they're soaked for a long time and blended, I have a much better time digesting
that, yeah. The enzyme inhibitors are taken off. If I actually had more time, I would skin them too after they're soaked. But so I take that liquid and I put that in a blender in the Vitamix, and then I'll put in a little dash of vanilla, a little bit of sea salt. What else do I put? Some cinnamon. What else do I do?
Ice?
One scoop of the One World Way.
Ooh, that makes all the difference.
Yeah, that
vanilla.
makes the vanilla. Ooh.
I bet any flavor of the One World Way would be good in there.
Oh, can you imagine? We've never tried the strawberry.
Strawberry. Have you tried chocolate?
I've never tried it. That might be something to try one day.
All right, we might have to bust out of our norm.
Yeah, so one scoop of the One World Way. We'll put links to all these things too on the show page here. And then we do some ice and some vanilla. A couple pieces, about a half a frozen banana with a bunch of ice. You blend that up, it becomes this frothy, somewhat thick vanilla shake.
It's like a Dairy Queen flurry.
Oh my gosh! And you've been taking.
I've been taking it to another level.
Oh,
I take your base, which is the best thing I've ever eaten that you've ever made, and I put it back in the Vitamix with some ice and a date.
Now, a couple dates, right?
A date and a half, really, because otherwise it's too sweet.
You cut it.
It's already really sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll throw them in there and then reblend it, and it becomes this like extra icy date. It's like a date shake. You would not know that is not dairy.
I know when we were drinking it, we're thinking, man, if we just gave this to people, they would just love it.
They would know.
They would love it.
They would love it.
Especially on a hot summer day like this recently. It's just been so good.
Amazingness.
It's like this foamy, frothy, it's got bubbles on top, and it's just,
I know what you would name it.
What's what?
The Foamiota.
The Foamiota. I like that. The Foamiota. Yeah, that beats anything at, I tell you, Starbucks or anything.
It does. Doesn't it sound like a Starbucks drink?
It does. Foamiota. I like that.
Frothiate.
Frappiate. A chemical-filled frappiate.
With extra frop.
Frop. Oh, man. So
that is really good, though.
Yeah,
I think we should post that.
I'm going to do a little video on how to, or a blog post on how to do that.
Please do, will you?
Yeah, take some pictures and stuff. That's
cool.
Unbelievable.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in the Vitamix, there is actually a free shipping if you go through our link. I think I mentioned that on the commercial. So just to let you know, if you want to go through us, support our show, you get free shipping if you go through our link. And I'm still looking at pictures of potato bugs. Wow, these are quite the...
Be prepared when you just Google images of creepy-looking bugs with creepy faces.
I got to do that. I want to do that.
Bueno.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much.
That was fun, guys.
Yeah, episode 291. We'll put all the links to everything here. We really appreciate your sticking with us, and hopefully you enjoyed the show. Please pass it on to your friends. That really does help us a lot. And also consider supporting our sponsors. There's links to that on the right side of our website. We only have companies. I mean, I seek out the companies. I don't let companies come and contact us. I seek out companies I already know that are doing amazing things and that are reputable. So check out our sponsor page. And also don't forget to check out our store. We've got lots of great stuff. If you want to support us via Amazon, if you make purchases on Amazon, go through our link. There's links for that on the website on the right-hand side at the very top. You can do that. And we also accept donations too. But if you want to just send our show to your friends, sign up to our newsletter, stay up to date with our show, lots of different ways to support us. And we are just so grateful. And it really does help us to continue to support ourselves and to support this show. Is becoming more and more costly as time goes on, and be able to keep everything free for everybody. So you can pass it on to your friend, and your friend doesn't have to sign up for an account, pay $10 a month for something they don't even know what it is. So,
right.
It's just, it really does help if you pass it on to your friends via Facebook and things like that. So please do that if you can. And that's about it, right? We cover
I think
everything?
that's it.
From potato bugs to eating insects to the Ebola virus. There you go.
It's been the most
random show, right? So I want to thank all you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Hey, everybody. This is Josie, Justin's mum. Don't tell him, but I know he would absolutely be really happy if you would sign up to his free weekly newsletter. And don't forget to share this with all your friends. This is the buzzing bumblebee signing off.
Is she crazy? She was during the show, she was coming over and trying to get pets. All the air came out of her lungs.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show.
Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health.
Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as